Hey everybody, this is a leg workout for you, focusing on quads and glutes. I started this workout with a weighted glute bridge. So when you add the weight at the top of the glute bridge, it really makes you want to drive up instead of thinking under with the glutes. So it's an extra challenge for those glutes to really make sure that they are still getting to their shortened position. So resist the urge to want to move the hips up and sending all of the work into the low back. You still want to pull those glutes under and get them to their shortest position with the added weight. I gradually increased the weight that I was using as I was moving through each set. Then I moved right into a superset of split squats. So I call the first one a hip dominant split squat because I'm holding the dumbbells, so my line of force, gravity, is pulling me straight down with those dumbbells. You can see how my body is moving straight up and down for these. I am bending at both knees. The back leg, the rec fem, is staying in a lengthened position, so that quad will start to burn up. The quote-unquote working leg here, the front leg, I'm thinking about controlling myself down, a pause at the bottom, then to get back up, I am driving through the heel. So from that bottom, I drive through the heel to initiate with that glute to drive me back up. Immediately switching legs and staying with that quote-unquote hip dominant split squat. Again, making sure my core is engaged, shoulders are back and down, and both knees are bending as I move straight up and down, keeping the dumbbells still so that they are not swinging back and forth. Really driving through that heel to initiate with the glute from the bottom position. So I did about 10 to 12 reps on each leg. Then I put the dumbbells down and I'm going to move into my quad dominant split squat. This time I am elevating the front foot so that I can get more dorsiflexion and enabling more knee flexion. I'm using the cable here so that the line of force is pulling me forward. So I'm moving in towards the cable and sliding back. So with this one, it's more of a forward and backwards motion so that I am thinking about getting as much knee flexion as possible as I am moving forward and almost thinking about doing a leg extension out of the bottom. So I'm driving through the step and almost thinking about pushing my foot forward a little bit, just as you would do out of the bottom of a leg extension. So I'm leaning forward into it and sliding back. Again, that back leg, that rec fem, is staying in that lengthened position, so it's definitely gonna burn up as well. Again, I did about 12 reps on each leg and then went right into the other side. Setting up nice and tight, making sure that the core is not twisted through the center. You wanna keep those shoulders square, the rib cage square, so really engage the core here nice and tight. And again, you're thinking sliding forward with the knee to get as much knee flexion as you can, really working the quads. I started the next superset with another set of glute bridges, but this time using a different tempo. So the first time I held for about 2 seconds at the top. This time I'm just going for a more squeeze and go. So it's an exercise that I know I can execute very well. So I wanted to stay with it, but vary it up a little bit with a different tempo. Then I moved into the exercise that I have the biggest love-hate relationship with, the leg extension. So for this exercise, I wanted to spend time in the shortened position of the quad. So luckily I had access to the prime leg extension plate loaded so that I could put the weight where I wanted it. I loaded the weight to be heavier from the initiation, the beginning part of the exercise, so that the weight would drop off when I get to that shortened position, allowing me to take advantage of that shortened position, spend time there, get that really good squeeze, making sure that I'm staying in control of the entire range of motion. If you have a little bounce at the top, that means you're using more momentum to get that weight up there, and you're not in control of the contraction of the muscle. You also want to make sure that you're pulling yourself down into that seat. You never want your butt to pop away from that seat. Use the handles, grab a hold of the seat, whatever you need to do to pull yourself down into it and control the entire range of motion. Starting off the next superset with hip extension for the glutes. This is a very challenging exercise. So as you start it out, go for a smaller range of motion to make sure that the glutes are doing all of the work. You're thinking about lengthening from the insertion, squeezing the glutes together, and then pulling them down. The tendency here is for the back to start to engage because the motion is not happening from the hips. You gotta make sure all of the motion is coming from the hips. The core is staying nice and tight, the chin is staying tucked in the whole time so that nothing is happening at that low back. Lengthening out, initiate, pinch the glutes together, and then drive them down, squeezing in that shortened position. Again, making sure all of the motion is coming from around the hips and not the back. And if you're lucky like me, maybe you get some puppy kisses at the end of your set. I finished up this workout with a quad dominant leg press. I love finishing out leg workouts with the leg press because it's something that you can get a lot of output in while being stable. At the end of the workout, the body's really tired, but the leg press allows you that stability to be able to get the very last output out of those muscles. For a quad dominant leg press, I lower my feet a little bit further down on the footboard and put my feet just a little bit closer together so that I can get more knee flexion out of it. I'm almost thinking again about doing that leg extension motion out of the bottom. So I'm thinking about driving my feet through the board and almost slightly up like I would do a leg extension, making sure my pelvis and low back are staying against the back pad and the seat the entire range of motion. So my goal for this workout was to take the quads and the glutes through their entire range of motion, work them in the shortened position, work them in the lengthened position, and get a lot of output. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and press that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys soon.